You ever get caught in a moment where everything you thought you knew just flips upside down? Yeah, that happened to David Harper one morning in his penthouse when his $50,000 Rolex Submariner went missing. The kind of watch that screams status, you know what I mean? David's voice thundered across his spacious 300-square-meter apartment. "Where's my Rolex?" His eyes, sharp and furious, scanned every corner until they landed on Lisa Morgan, the cleaning lady quietly sorting her supplies nearby. Lisa, 32 years old, didn't flinch. She stopped, met his glare head-on, and said calmly, "I don't know anything about your watch, Mr. Harper." That didn't sit well with David. He lunged forward, face flushed red with anger. "You were the only one in my closet today. That watch doesn't just vanish." Lisa stood her ground, hands gripping her cleaning cloth like armor. 5 years with elite cleaning services had taught her how to handle difficult clients. But David's tone today was sharper, more cruel, more personal. "Still," she offered, "I can check my purse if that'll put your mind at ease." "Oh, you'll check all right," David snarled, pulling out his phone, "and the police will get involved too. People like you think you can take advantage of hard-working folks like me." That's when the desperate crying started, piercing, frantic cries echoing from the next room. David's 6-month-old son, Ethan, was in his crib, screaming like something was seriously wrong. But David didn't even glance toward the bedroom. "The nanny takes care of that," he said, eyes fixed on Lisa. "Now, open that bag." Lisa frowned, her instincts kicking in. This wasn't a normal hungry or sleepy cry. Against protocol, she walked to the nursery, and what she found shook her. Ethan was alone, his diaper filthy from hours of crying, face red and tear-streaked, no nanny anywhere. "Hey there, little one," Lisa whispered, scooping the baby into her arms. Her years caring for nephews had taught her how to soothe a frightened child. And just like that, Ethan stopped crying, nuzzling into her like she was his safe place. David appeared at the door, still clutching his phone. "What the hell are you doing?" Lisa carefully handed Ethan back, but as soon as David took him, the crying erupted again, louder, more desperate. He tried rocking, talking, begging, nothing worked. Ethan was inconsolable in his own father's arms. "I don't get it," David muttered, frustration clear. "Babies sense tension," Lisa explained softly. "When adults are nervous or aggressive, babies notice." David stared at her, a strange mix of surprise and irritation. "You're saying I'm a bad father?" "No, I'm saying your son calmed down with me because I wasn't tense." For a fleeting moment, David's angry gaze softened curiosity, maybe even respect flickered. But then arrogance snapped back in. "What a convenient coincidence," he sneered. "The same person who steals my watch also has magic hands with babies." What a story. Lisa took a breath. Years of swallowing suspicion, veiled accusations, and prejudice had steeled her. But today, she wasn't backing down. "Mr. Harper, I didn't take your watch. If you're sure, call the police. They'll investigate everything." David hesitated. Something about Lisa's confidence unsettled him, like she knew more than she let on. She calmly resumed, organizing, every move deliberate, like someone who had nothing to hide. Worse, like someone who had been waiting for this moment. What David didn't realize was that his baseless accusation had just sparked a fire inside Lisa, a strength forged from years of fighting injustice. "Full investigation," David scoffed. "Perfect. The more evidence, the better." He typed furiously, sending messages to the entire cleaning company warning them about Lisa. Lisa's jaw tightened. This cycle was all too familiar. Missing items that magically reappeared after the domestic worker was publicly humiliated. David's venom only grew. "I'm posting this on social media too. People need to know what kind of employee you are." Then something shifted. Lisa froze, eyes locked on his with a fierce intensity that made David step back. "People like me," she repeated slowly. "How interesting. And what kind of person am I, Mr. Harper?" David faltered, realizing he'd crossed the line, but his ego wouldn't let him back down. Lisa finished his thought. "Someone who takes advantage of others, breaks trust, thinks they could just walk into family homes and steal." David's phone buzzed a message from his lawyer. Meeting canceled, urgent family matter. But David was too consumed by his crusade to notice. You know what's funny, Mr. Harper? Lisa snapped her briefcase shut. In 5 years cleaning for families like yours, you're the first to accuse me of theft. Or the first to lose something and automatically blame the only black person in the room, she added, voice cold as ice. David's face paled. Phone buzzed again, ignored. He stepped forward, trying to intimidate her. I've known people like you forever. You act dignified, but deep down. Lisa faced him fully the first time David saw something in her eyes that made him question if he'd chosen the wrong target. Ethan cried again from the bedroom, but neither moved. The tension thickened like storm clouds ready to burst. Here's something about people like me, Lisa said, grabbing her purse. We grow up knowing one thing. The truth always comes out. Always. And when it does, those who lied pay a very high price. David laughed, forced. Are you threatening me? I'm just telling you how the real world works. Lisa headed for the door. Oh, and Mr. Harper? You might want to check your pockets or your car. Men like you tend to blame others for their own screw-ups. Suddenly, his phone exploded with notifications. Where do you think you're going? He shouted after her. The police are on their way, she called back with a smile. I love the police, especially when they see the security cameras. David frowned. What cameras? The ones covering the hallways, elevators, parking lot, everything. The ones that'll show I arrived at 9 a.m. and haven't left since. Lisa smiled wider. And the ones that'll show where you really lost your watch. David started sweating, not just because of what she said, but how she said it, like she already knew exactly what the footage would reveal. His phone rang. Private investigator urgent. Excuse me, Lisa said politely. I need to find my next job. But don't worry, Mr. Harper will get to the bottom of this today. David answered with trembling hands. Mr. Harper, we need to talk. It's about your wife. My wife? She's not in town. That's what we thought. But she's been in Las Vegas for 3 weeks with another man. His world crumbled. The calls he thought were from her were fake location masked, but there were photos, hotel records, everything. While David absorbed this, Lisa called her sister Naomi. Remember that private security course I took before coming here? Yeah, you were top of the class. Well, I need you to contact Detective Harris. I need a favor. What no one knew. Lisa was a former private investigator in Jamaica with a criminology degree. She'd chosen cleaning jobs while studying forensic psychology, and she researched every client before accepting work. When she saw David's history, she set her phone to record automatically. Detective Harris called back within 30 minutes. Lisa Morgan, my best student. What can I do? I need legal access to building security footage and maybe a little digging on David Harper. Meanwhile, David juggled police investigators arriving to probe the stolen watch claim. Detectives Johnson and Rodriguez listened with skepticism. So you're sure the cleaning lady stole your watch? Johnson asked. She was the only one in my closet. And where exactly did you last see it? David hesitated. He couldn't remember. His lawyer called again. Questions about his professional conduct. Discrimination complaint investigations opening. The police got an update. Security cameras showed Lisa arriving at 9 a.m., not leaving all day, and David leaving late last night and returning early morning. Worse, cameras caught him dropping something shiny in the parking lot, his watch, found under his car. Humiliation hit hard. He'd accused an innocent woman of theft while he lost the watch himself. Then Lisa got a call from Detective Harris with a smile. David had a history of 3 racial discrimination lawsuits, all settled quietly, and his company was under IRS tax evasion investigation. His wife was filing for divorce, half his assets at risk. Lisa realized David was a desperate man, and she called Harris. One more favor, can you get contacts in investigative press? Why? Because a story's about to be told, and this time, it'll be told right. David, alone after police left, stared at his recovered watch. For a moment, he thought of apologizing, but pride won out. She's just a cleaning lady. What harm can she do? That question would haunt him. Lisa was 3 steps ahead, orchestrating a lesson to make him rethink every prejudice he'd ever held. David's life unraveled fast, clients canceled, his wife vanished, divorce settlement demanding half his wealth. Then the phone rang. Rachel Bennett from Channel 7 News, investigating workplace discrimination. David hung up, but calls kept coming, panic rising. His senior partner yelled, "What the hell's going on? The press is all over this." Meanwhile, Lisa met with Detective Harrison Dr. Angela Reed, a top civil rights attorney who had represented other women suing David for discrimination. Dr. Reed laid out the facts: false accusations, intimidation, public humiliation, all documented by Lisa. "Did you plan this?" the lawyer asked. Lisa smiled. "Years as a private investigator taught me to be ready. When I noticed suspicious patterns, I set my phone to record automatically." And the building footage proved David lied to police repeatedly. At an emergency board meeting, David's colleagues confronted him with recordings of his racist and threatening words. "You falsely accused a female employee because she's black," one board member said, playing a 37-minute audio of David's own voice. David's phone buzzed breaking news from Channel 7. Elite executive with history of systemic discrimination exposed by employee who documented everything. He was suspended indefinitely. That night, national TV aired the full audio, exposing every cruel word. Contracts vanished, friends distanced themselves. At 9 p.m., Victoria called from Las Vegas, telling David she wanted a divorce, demanding half his assets. Meanwhile, Lisa prepared dinner, smiling as she got a call. The Federal Department of Civil Rights was opening an investigation. The IRS sped up their audit. Dr. Reed reopened lawsuits from other victims. Another call came. Chun and Associates, a top corporate security firm, offered Lisa a senior investigator role with $80,000 starting salary. David Harper had learned the hard way. Underestimating someone based on prejudice only reveals your own rotten character and hands them the tools to destroy you. 6 months later, Lisa sat in a sleek office on the 23rd floor, leading 12 investigators. The city skyline stretched beyond the glass, a far cry from the apartments she once cleaned. Rachel Bennett arrived for an interview about Lisa's Civil Rights Defender Award. "How does it feel to know your story changed the law on protective recordings for domestic workers?" Lisa smiled. "The truth always finds a way to the surface, especially when you give it a little help." Her firm thrived. Corporations sought her out for discrimination audits, paying 10 times what she earned before. Across town, David pushed a shopping cart in a supermarket, fired, divorced, unemployable, a cautionary tale for business students about corporate prejudice. His son Ethan, now 3, asked during rare visits, "Daddy, why is that lady on TV talking about you?" Lisa's story aired regularly, inspiring others to stand up for justice. One day, Dr. Reed called with news. David had tried to get a job at their firm, but was immediately rejected. He said he'd learned a valuable lesson and respected Lisa's professionalism. Lisa laughed, savoring the irony, learning to respect people after losing everything. Her life had transformed beyond the professional. She bought her mother a house in Jamaica, sent nephews to college, and started a foundation to support domestic workers facing discrimination. Her recent cases exposed labor exploitation and employer blacklists based on race. At a university talk, a student asked, "Have you ever wanted personal revenge on the man who humiliated you?" Lisa thought, then said no. The best revenge is to build something bigger than he could ever imagine. While he lost everything to his prejudice, I gained a career, a life mission, and the satisfaction of protecting others. The audience erupted in applause. That night, she received a LinkedIn message from a young black lawyer. "Your story inspired me not to give up. Today, I got my promotion. Thank you for showing me that truth and determination always win." Lisa smiled, knowing true success isn't just personal, it's how many lives you uplift. David Harper tried to destroy her because of her skin color and assumptions about people like her. But ironically, by attacking her, he gave Lisa all the tools to build an empire based on justice and protection. Justice was served perfectly. David learned, painfully, that prejudice destroys not only its victims, but those who wield it. Lisa thrived, proving true strength lies not in tearing others down, but in lifting them up. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's building something so great their hate becomes irrelevant. David humiliated a cleaning lady, only to create one of the country's most respected investigators. If Lisa's story touched you, subscribe and share your thoughts below. Have you ever been underestimated and had to prove your worth? What's your take on justice, prejudice, and fighting back? Let's talk.